Hi there, this is Kevin from Health Agent Academy, and in this video we're going to show you how to get an insurance license in another state. So our objective here, just to reiterate that, is to show you how to get an insurance license in another state. So that's going to be other than the state where you currently reside, and this type of license is going to be referred to commonly as either a non-resident license or a non-resident producer or non-resident producer license, something along those lines. Sometimes the names you might hear change a little bit, but typically what you're talking about is someplace other than where you currently live. And the requirements we're going to show you here assume that you already have a resident license in your home state. If you don't, if you look down below in the description, we're going to have a link to show you another video where you can learn how to get a resident license in your home state. But assuming you do have a resident license, we're going to walk through that here with you. So what you're going to need to do is do a little bit of research just to make sure that you have everything you need lined up, and then you're going to have to apply in the state where you want to get the non-resident license. So just to walk through that here with you, you go to the National Independent Producer Registry. It's a good place to get all of the requirements for every single state, and it's going to walk you through what you need to do. My recommendation here is find the state where you're looking to get licensed. So let's say you want to get licensed in Arkansas and you're not an Arkansas resident. What you're going to do is look on here. It's going to have some good information for you as far as what type of licenses they would allow you to get, how to look up your license once you have it, some of their rules, which for the most part the rules are pretty similar for every state. Sometimes they're going to have some nuances, so always double check that. Then it's also going to show you like Arkansas, for example, has quite a few different types of licenses and license classes, more so than quite a few other states that I've seen. But either way, it helps you see what is available, what type of licenses are you can get. So for example, Health Agent Academy, if you're watching this, chances are you probably have a either accident license, life health license of some sorts. They do allow that here in Arkansas, as we're seeing on this page. And then also it's going to show you the fees. Now fees are going to vary wildly in between states from what I've seen. So for example, if you're a producer, an agent, some states refer to agents as agents or brokers, some refer to them as producers, but you're usually looking for something along the lines of producer. The fee would be $70 in Arkansas at the time of this video. Fees can be lower than that, it can be higher than that, so make sure that you do have the intent of selling business in those states before you go through the processing and of course the cost involved. Then what you're going to do is you would apply. Now what I would recommend doing is go to the state's website and double check all this information too. Do a pretty good job here of making sure this is up to date, but every now and then there could be just some nuances of the requirements for every state. So you could also call the state. Now, sometimes it's not a bad idea. So if you go over here to contact card, they've got like the phone number, the address, the website of the particular state, and they have that for other states as well. So, and then you can look up, their licensing requirements on their website. So once you know you're gonna go ahead and apply, I would recommend applying. My general thought, and you could of course think differently, is if you know you need to get licensed in a particular state because you're going to be going after business in that state, or you have a lead in that state, go ahead and get the ball rolling. So if you click apply here, of course for the sake of time we'll just skip through this, but you can read the legalese on your own. You would accept it and then put in your resident state and your resident license number, what type of license. Individual, of course, is you as a individual producer. Business would be if this is for a business entity. So if you're applying for an agency, you would have to get the agency license, and then if you are a producer of that agency, you would also have to get an individual license for yourself. Just keep that in mind. So even though as an individual you may look at it as this is your business, the business is generally speaking talking about a business entity. You'd click here that you're applying for a new license. Now if you're doing a renewal, because as a non-resident license you still have to renew your license, you could use this page here as well, and then you would put in your social security number, or the last four anyway, or if it was a business you'd be putting in your tax ID, and then you could also put in your national producer number here as well. Click next and basically just follow the bouncing ball, and you'd be applying for that new state to get your non-resident license. So just a few things just to go over here. There are a few tips I would recommend just keeping in mind when you do get licensed in other states. First off, you want to make sure you're in current or your current license at your resident license is in good standing. And that's really important, because in order to get licensed in other states, they're going to be looking at your current resident license to make sure it is in good standing. And depending on the states and how the reciprocal agreements work, sometimes it's just as simple as applying. Sometimes there's a few other hoops you may have to jump through. You may have to get another background check of some sort, or fingerprinting or something along those lines. But you can usually look on the state's websites to see, or on the NIPR website to see what the requirements are. But first off, you want to make sure you're at least in good standing. And as I said, the states are in charge of agent licensing. So NIPR is a good source of getting information. But ultimately, they're just facilitating the application process, but it still goes to that individual state. So if you're applying for example, a non-resident license in Michigan, and you use the NIPR website, it's still Michigan approving it or disapproving it. So they're just basically getting the information to Michigan so that they can approve it in that example there. So also, you still need to make sure you have appointments in your new state. So generally speaking, you're going to need to make sure that you still have appointments in whatever that new state is. So for example, if you have a resident license in a particular state and you're going to get licensed in a non-resident license in, let's say, a state next door, and let's say you're with insurance carrier XYZ, and insurance carrier XYZ is with both states, you may be appointed in your home state, but you're also going to have to make sure that you get appointed in your new state. Now, that's usually not too difficult of a process. It's just something you have to keep in mind that you have to make sure happens. So best thing to do is just to make sure the requirements are met. If there's any additional contracting or paperwork or anything you needed to do, I would go back to whoever got you your original appointment. So for example, if you're with XYZ insurance carrier, you could go back to either the carrier themselves, an agent, whether it's a general agency or an IMO or an FMO, however you got your appointment, just go back to them and say, hey, I'm now licensed, or I'm working on getting licensed in whatever the state is. I need to make sure I also get appointed with XYZ insurance carrier in that state as well. And they'll usually help you with that, because at the end of the day, they want the business. They want to help you get that business. So, but just make sure for compliance sake that you are not just getting licensed, but you're getting appointed. Now, sometimes people talk about getting licensed with insurance carrier XYZ, but usually they're talking about getting an appointment, where the license is just the ability to transact insurance in that state in general. And then the appointment, of course, would be just the ability to transact insurance in that state on behalf of whatever the insurance company XYZ in our example case there. So hopefully that made sense. And if you found this helpful, I would ask that you either leave a comment below, like, or subscribe to this page. It does help others find this page. And also, you can sign up for our resource guide, which is absolutely free. It'll help you level up no matter where you are in your insurance career. You can sign up for that at healthagentacademy.com. Also have a link below where you can sign up to get our free resource guide as well. So all in all, I just want to thank you for joining us, and best of luck for your continued success with your insurance career. Thank you.